My name's George Bennett. I am an organic farmer in the Northern New South Wales. I crop 380 acres organically, A grade. I grow soybeans in the summer and wheat, barley in the winter. We have very good markets on the soya on the organic side, so I've been doing that now for probably, I don't know, the best part of 20 odd years, 24, 5 years. And it's been very successful. I'm very happy farming organically. How did I find out about you people? Well, that was very interesting day. I was at another property, not this property, work in the country, and your dad called in and wanted to sell me this product. And I thought, I listened to him. I thought he sort of knew what he was wanting to do. And I thought, now, this man must think his product's good or he wouldn't be here wasting my time. So we got down to a bit of a challenge, and I said to him, I said, Trevor, I might try some of it. He said, well, put it in with your other fertiliser you use. And I said, well, that don't sound good to me. If your product's any good, I will, I'd use it and I'll use the other, and we'll see which is the best product. And yes, from that day on, I think every year I've bought Natremin off you people to put into my summer crop. I put it into the summer crop. It is a very good soil conditioner. What I find, I'm very much happy with the support I get from Roger Newman. He does the soil tests and advises me what I should put in the mix, and that's what I go with. And we do that every year. Yeah, well, I found the soil after I started using Natremin, it sort of made it more viable. I believe it's a soil conditioner. This heavy river soil country can be very hard, at times dry, but using Natremin, it makes it very pliable country. You can work it, you can get onto it, you can work it. I believe it draws the moisture up out of the ground to your plants. And I think this year's something telling you there it is, that it's what it's doing. I use 300 kilos per hectare of Natremin each year. It depends on the soil test, the blend. The blend that Roger advises me to plant is what mixes up and comes down here. In 2017, a paddock that I farm up the road from here won the Northern New South Wales soybean competition, which I was very proud to be able to do that. And the judges on the day was very pleased with the crop, how clean it was and how well it was grown, which I give the credit to Natremin also for that. After the first year that I used Natremin, when Trevor was here, I didn't see a lot of difference in the paddock to the two with the ordinary, but I had a little bit left over, and I put it out on the paddock, and the cattle really utilised and flogged that country for the next 12 months. And that really said to me, well, they know what they want, so I use it in the country because it's got to do something for my cropping. And when I got got any left over, always put it out for the cattle. Yeah, with growing those soybeans organically, my average has been as good as the unorganic people around. It sort of depends each year on where the rain falls, the moisture and everything else, but I'm never that far behind or in front. On this property I have grown, it was only in conversion at the time, but I have grown a 2-ton crop here. That's with Natremin as well, that was put into the country. So yeah, I think organically is the way to go. Well, the cost benefits with organic to non-organic to me is, I think, is very little different. It's more physical work in growing organically. You've got to be very conscious of your crop. You've got to be on top of your weeds, controlling by scuffling. Each year I always have a team of weed pullers walk through, and it's not hard work. They tell me it's not hard work, it's just hot work, because there's not that many weeds we have now. So we've got on top of that, but that's physically, instead of just calling on chemicals to spray, because you got weeds, you spray it out, you spray before you plant, you spray after you plant, and you go on and on. And I don't have any of that cost. I don't use any of those sprays, I only use the Dipel and Vivus for my grubs in the crop, and the rest of it's controlled physically. Share organic products. Last year I got $1,200 in the paddock here on farm, and I think roughly about 700 was the price for the non-organic. The biggest challenge I have on the farm is weather, Mother Nature. Like if you can control that, farming be very, very easy. So that's the biggest challenge you have. You've got to try and make sure you've got enough moisture in your country before you plant, so that you can get a strike and a good germination of your seed and your management. And it's always a challenge. Every year it's a challenge. It'll be either too wet or too dry. Last year on this farm here, you'd walk out there in January, I think the second week in January, and the beans would move as you walked two metres away. That was that wet, it was just slush. And this year, well, it's that dry. There's cracks out there 2 inches wide and 8 inches deep. You know, that's your biggest challenge, is Mother Nature. I work my country whatever's required, and a lot of that is only weed control. I make sure that I do work the country for weed control. This country, what I usually do is I deep rip my country both ways and let it settle, work itself out, and then I'll work the country as it gets to the planting of the crop, and then weed control. But I always, for my weed control, I run a machine straight in front of the planter, which takes out the weeds and drops it in. The planter goes and plants the crop, and away we go from there. Believe in that the Natrimum is a soil conditioner and also a moisture controller. It draws the moisture back to the plant. And as I said, you walk into that crop there and see the cracks, and that you'd wonder how they could be still living. Well, the biggest problem we have between city and the country at the moment is every decade it's getting worse, because the new generation do not understand what the farmer has to go through to produce the product that they wish to eat. And the big thing that I find is that a lot of them don't even know where the milk comes from. They don't know where other products come from. Like of soybean, it's in a lot of products, but people would not know they're eating soybean. And I don't know how, as farmers, we can't get through to them. I mean, it comes back to, their upbringing. Every day's a challenge. I started work yesterday morning at 4:30, and I finished this morning at 1 o'clock. And then I was back up again at 5:30 this morning, and I've had a breakdown and I've still got work to do yet. If you want to be a farmer, you're not thinking you're going to work 40 hours. Some weeks you work 80, other weeks you work 10 and 20. And that's your management time when you got that downtime. But you must go and do your work when it needs to be done. Like yesterday was just too hot to spray for grubs. So the young bloke that does a bit of work with me, we did that last night. We started at 8 o'clock and worked through to 1 o'clock. And then I had a breakdown this morning or I would have been finished, but anyway.